by the time we were sitting down for lunch, we had a master take in the bag. It's just boom, just instantly back together.
Let's say good morning to Mr. Alex James.
Yeah. Good morning, happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
It's very Christmassy.
Isn't it?
It's the square, isn't it?
Yeah, you got the Christmas market, you've got the freezing cold weather, all the junkies have got little Santa Claus hats on.
It's lovely. Just what Santa intended, actually.
How are you?
Really fresh. Yeah,
you look very fresh.
Yeah, feeling good. Country living.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's all that cheese. That's what it is. Now, before we get into all of the chat, last time you were on, you had told us you were trying to make a big frazzle.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the outcome of whether you what?
No frazzle.
No.
Still no. I hope Festival this year. That's a hard deadline.
Right. Okay.
It's getting silly now. How hard can it be?
Was the issue it was getting too soggy in the middle? Is that what you were saying?
It's basically a trade secret.
Right.
I've literally burnt through 12 Michelin stars worth of chefs. Nobody. We're scratching our heads. We don't know.
Really.
We
and
don't
the frazzle people won't give you.
I noticed they DM. They followed me on socials. I said, "Come on, let's make a massive. What about doing a massive one?"
What do they say?
They just came straight back, said not of interest.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But
what's wrong with that? This is a Channel 4 show.
Absolutely.
If not a series.
Yes.
Can this be done? Can we make a massive frazzle?
I'm not talking like giant Watsits, like the ones that I'm going like stupid.
Yeah. That's like, you've just reminded me. That's why I get annoyed with the giant buttons. They're not giant. They're just bigger buttons.
Yeah, they're slightly bigger.
I want one this big.
Yeah.
You want to, you got to hold it with two
The
hands.
size of 12-inch vinyl or something. That's what you want.
Yes.
Exactly.
There you go. So many things to talk about. You have a book. Because the thing is, when you're Alex James and you're in the band Blur and you make award-winning cheeses and you've got 19 kids and you have a massive festival that you do every year and you've got live gigs, you go, I'm bored, I think I'll write a book.
Well, I didn't think... it was about 3/4 of the way through the year when I thought, hang on, this actually might be a good story. Because, like, the first time that Blur split up and Claire and I basically bought the farm on our honeymoon and moved there. And I didn't... At the exact point that Blur stopped, and I really didn't have any transferable skills. I was really good at playing the bass and eating cheese and drinking champagne. But I didn't really... And so I think what saved me was I got a column in the... This is before social media existed, but I got a weekly column in the Independent writing about my farming disasters. It was a sort of Clarkson's Farm, but kind of low budget written word version, and that kind of that enabled me to kind of reinvent myself. But so as a columnist, I kind of know sort of done it enough to know what makes a good story. And I was saying, actually, there's quite a nice shape to this. I didn't even know how it ended at that stage, but.
Well, it's lovely.
I
was reading the back of it. A little synopsis. I don't mean. I
back of it's
I went to the back page and I went, oh, there you go. That's what happened. So it was all about basically. So the whole book is the phone goes and it's like, would you like to play Wembley Stadium with Blur? And you're like, well, yeah, I'd like to talk to them. And I've got 5 kids and a farm and cheeses, and I'm trying to make a massive frazzle.
I'm busy. I've got a lot on.
Well, exactly. So we said yes to Wembley, and then that sold out instantly. So and that was great. So I said, so we added another night, to which my wife said, Harry Styles is doing 4 without even looking at me.
Lovely.
So the whole thing is, I get the premise of the whole thing is that Blur gets back together, and after the Wembleys, like we suddenly end up we get booked in for all the biggest festivals in the world, Roskilde, Summer Sonic, and then oh my word, it's back to the farm for another festival at home. So it's kind of mixing this mayhem of sort of touring at that level with kind of with all the stuff that everyone else, a lot of people my age are dealing with, like being expanding waistline, father of recalcitrant teenage children. Actually cash flow was a huge problem.
Yes, it's a mix of. Is having a farm a great way to lose money? From being a rock star to farmer?
No. The farm is actually a good business. It's taken 20 years of like blood, sweat, and tears. But it is a business. And actually, we had been hit really hard by COVID because like there weren't any shops or delis to sell the cheese. Couldn't hold Feastival.
Yeah.
So I was still sort of digging my way out of that, and actually because I was tied up with Blur, I couldn't, and we weren't going to get paid until after the shows or the album was delivered. There was, it's just like managing, Were you surprised when like you just said, you asked to play Wembley, and then that sold out, so you'd had another day, and then all of these other festivals said, "Oh my God, we'd love you to play." Were you all surprised at that? Yeah, I think
because no one else was.
And really, putting Wembley on sale was a risk. It would have been the biggest show we'd ever done, and you really don't know until you put a ticket on sale who's going to want to go to downtown Brent on a Saturday night in summertime.
But you're in Blur.
But it's 8 years since the last time.
Didn't it sell out in it was something like 20-something minutes, wasn't it?
It actually takes about a week for that to happen. They do it all in pre-sales and they go, it sold out in 5 minutes. I think we can't, with about a week before we know, actually, this is going to go.
40,000 tickets still left in the shopping cart. They're just not. Exactly. They're almost there. Yeah. They're almost there. I think it's,
certainly 2 nights was a surprise, but the one thing that was absolutely no doubt terrifying was we thought we'd make another record as well, and we thought we better not tell anyone just in case it's because you don't know we don't know how that's going to go. And on the M40 on the way into London for the first day of recording the studio, I was absolutely terrified.
Wow.
Because what band doesn't hate each other 35 years in, and I really couldn't think of another band that had made a decent record at that point in their career. It's really unusual. But do you know what? I saw Damon last night and we listened to it, and it's like really, it's
great.
It's amazing now. Absolutely amazing now.
It is great.
I guess the title Over the Rainbow, I wanted it to kind of reflect some of the kind of sense of enchantment that there is about Blur. It's when I look at it, it's crazy. Graham, the guitar player, was the very, very first person I saw when I arrived in London to go to university. He was getting out of his parents' car holding a guitar, and at the other side of the car park I was getting out of my parents' car holding a guitar, and we totally clocked each other straight away, but literally the very first person.
Thank God for that bit of timing.
Crazy. And then he took me to meet Damon and Dave, and the first time we were all in a room together, we wrote She's So High, which is a song that we still played last summer. So it was just the kind of instant chemistry there that's kind of never gone away. And I got to the studio on that first day, Dave was there, waited an hour for the singer and guitar player to turn up as usual. And then, so they got there by like 12. By the time we were sitting down for lunch, we had a master take in the bag. It's just boom, just instantly back together. Because I guess we spent I said to Dave at lunchtime, how did we do that? It was easy. It's like anything's easy if you do it for 30 years.
Well, this is the thing. True. I guess, when you first start, it's all very exciting and you don't really know what you're doing, but you also don't know that you don't know what you're doing, Because like with anybody who starts off doing something very young, and then the tidal wave of success that then comes with Blur and picks you up and takes you, and you have to then do live shows, you have to deliver another album, you have to do Top of the Pops, you have to do all these things, and then it becomes all of a sudden then it's a job, and then all of a sudden you're moaning that you're tired and you've not seen the family for ages and blah blah blah, and then all that
frazzle.
ends. And then the one thing you don't realise in all that time is you guys are very, very good, if not the best people on planet Earth, at being the band Blur. No other people can do that better than you. And so when you do get back together, I understand you're nervous, but it's like whatever makes you guys gel, it's still there.
There's something,
which is lovely.
There is something really magic about people making music together. I mean, you don't really need other people to. My kids, on their phones, you've got a drum machine and a sequencer, and you don't need a bass player or a drummer anymore. But there's a real, because it's exactly the same 4 people as it was, 1988. There's a close knit group of people who've just been doing it for years. We're so lucky to have all those years of playing together to just hone this thing that was like all instantly kind of happening. And because we don't do it very often, it was very very emotional coming back, and the fact that there's so many kids at the shows as well. I mean, it was a magical year.
Love it. The book is called Over the Rainbow. It's by Alex James. You can go and get that book now. Treat yourself and a friend, and all your family members for Christmas. There you go.
Nice.
You're welcome. Wednesday, December 4th today. Book is now out, or out tomorrow. I always think books come out the day before they're meant to come out anyway, so you could probably get it today.
You probably,
yeah. And then, are you done now for Christmas? What's I mean, you've got to plug your book, but how does it work with Christmas when you've got farm and cheese and massive frazzles to deal with?
Well, it's actually this is the last big push. Then I'm back to the farm, and dealing with children who all start breaking up from about getting back from college and stuff next weekend. It's good. I mean, it is my favourite time of Christmas. I absolutely love it. At least at this point, the 4th of December, you're like, I love Christmas. It's about the 20th,
and then Christmas Day, how many people?
We got 5 kids, 2 grannies, maiden aunt, ballet dancer, and that's it.
Do you bring the ballet dancer in just for Christmas Day?
Yes, yeah. Okay, Christmas Eve and then pantomime on the 27th, and then she's out. But I mean, I think it's that Christmas sort of falls on it's really at the sort of darkest, wettest time of year, and it's that you can't really do anything on a farm when it's cold and dark and wet. So I think there's always been kind of a pause, probably even before Baby Jesus arrived. There was probably always a kind of pause, and people kind of making merry just to get through the misery of the cold, wet. So it's actually a really, really nice time to be at home, because all the farmers in the parish are just like mulling up the cider and dancing to Rasputin. Happy days.
Now, have you started working on Big Festival already?
Certainly have. Yeah.
Does that literally? Does the weekend finish? A week goes by, and then you go, right, got to do it all over again.
Actually, we because Christmas Eve there's like 1,000 festivals up and down the UK every summer, and a handful of good bands that everybody wants. So actually, this year we were already looking at headliners for 25 before 2024.
Wow,
had gone ahead. So it's about 15-month cycle, I think. Actually,
it's crazy.
You got to think long term, but it was absolutely awesome last year. We had the Ministry of Sound Classical. It was totally. Totally fantastic. They've actually approached me about doing a Britpop classical thing in a similar. I like that. Okay, interesting.
That's very interesting.
Work,
that would be great.
Well, the whole thing shouldn't work, but does beautifully work. That whole orchestral thing with the dance stuff. So
it's the best show we've ever had. It's the best show we've ever had. It absolutely blew me away.
You know why? It's because you've not put me to DJ yet. That's why it's the best show you've had so far. But I'm waiting for the phone call. It's fine. Just check I'm not on silent. No, that's fine. That's good. Do you have you got Oasis tickets?
I'm not sure that I'll be going, but I'm delighted. What was very good manners, they waited until we got all our junk out of the way. It was very nice.
Do you think you inspired them?
Well, I'm always reading terrible statistics about marriages ending in divorce. This is the statistics for bands ending in everyone just hating each other. It's hard to think of a band that doesn't. And then brothers as well. I genuinely am delighted for them, and genuinely where we're going.
We were just saying with the build up. We keep talking off the air about these gigs and how they're going to be, because the anticipation is so ludicrous now, because it's building up and building up and building up. And we were saying, I wonder what that first show is going to be like, and then the third show, and then the 8th show. And
how many are they doing? It's a lot, isn't it?
A lot.
Well, they're doing a lot in the UK, and then they're going off, aren't they? They're doing and then out to America or whatever. But and I was always saying that there's someone right now listening to you and me talk, and they've no idea that this is going to happen to them, but it will. or someone is listening to this and what I'm about to say, they've gone, yeah, that was me. That was me at Blur, or that was me at Kasabian. There's someone who's finally got Oasis tickets and they can't wait for it. And the day they wake up, they're going to go meet their mates. They're going to have a few beers. Then they're going to get to the place and they're going to be so excited. They're going to have a few more beers. And one of them, someone listening right now, will have passed out drunk before the band comes on stage.
Yeah, that's a given.
And they will miss everything. I know there's at least one man or woman who went to see Blur at Wembley and they were so drunk they don't remember any of it.
Oh, yeah. It's going too early is one of life's great pleasures, though, isn't it? I think
it is, but you've got... But if
quick.
If you get it wrong, I mean, that can be awful. Yeah. Apparently, at Glastonbury, Michael J. Fox came on stage for Coldplay.
You don't remember that bit, do you?
No, don't remember that.
Glastonbury got you.
Don't remember that at all. So, okay, well, listen, lovely to see you. Everybody gets the book. It's what a fascinating thing to do, what a clever thing to do to write all this down.
Thank you.
Because it's always interesting, because you just, when you're on the outside looking in, you just think, oh, it's a great life, isn't it, being in a band, and then you just dive in and out of it whenever you want.
I think people are fascinated by what happens behind the scenes.
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
And like for you saying, you know, you were really nervous about heading into that, you know, that first rehearsal of getting back together again and everything. It's so interesting to hear it all. And I'm so pleased. Look at you. You look so well.
So you, baby.
So happy. Give my love to the family.
Will do.
Have a lovely Christmas.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, everybody buy the book. Mr. Alex J.
That's good.
Radio X.